Good morning all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name's Matt. I'm a landscape photographer based here in South Wales. Just come out of a 17-day lockdown period here in Wales. This is the first day that we're allowed out on our own, shall we say. So I've come out to Wentwood Forrest, which is just outside Newport. Got some lovely conditions here this morning, and there's a low hanging mist, and we've got some lovely oranges and browns and yellows still in the trees. So I thought I'd come along, see what we can do once we got the last of these autumn colours, because they're going to go quite soon. I'm going to be in that winter period where the trees are stripped bare and there's nothing to really photograph. So come join me. Let's go take some photos. So the problem I'm finding at the moment, walking around this forest, is Wentwood appears to have suffered from a bit of ash dieback, because I can remember coming here about 18 months ago and the trees were thick and deep. I mean, look behind me, there's hardly anything here. They've all been cut down and there's a couple of saplings in their place, so that's making it a little bit difficult to find an image at the moment. It's quite disheartening when you see that a disease has wiped out so much of nature. I suppose it's quite relevant at the moment as well. I've come across this composition in front of me where we've got 3 beech trees sort of lined up. Oh, sorry, it's 2 beech trees, one split in 2. And in the front then there's a fallen tree that's sort of curving around, pointed towards the other 2, and it's making like a little lead-in line up to the trees. Got a nice soft background there with the fog as it sort of come in. It's going to be a focus stack, I think, this one, because I'm not going to be able to get a wide enough aperture and get everything in focus. So I want to shoot it at 5.6. so that I get a nice bit of fall off behind the beech trees in the background there. But unfortunately this one is in the foreground here that's curving up. If I shoot at 5.6 it's not going to be in focus, it's not going to be sharp. So I think I'm going to have to do a bit of focus stacking on this to get the image I want. I found myself another composition here. There's this tree in front of me that splits in 2 like a Y shape, and it goes a bit further and it splits into a Y again, and it's looking really nice and really gnarly. Only problem is there's a little bit of sky in there. I've not got my what do you call it? Centre column, that's what you call it. I've got my low angle adapter on my Vanguard tripod. So I've not got the centre column, so I can't raise the camera up any higher than what it is. Bit of a faux pas on my behalf, and that one is. But there's still a little bit of mist just hanging behind the tree, which is hopefully just going to bring those highlights just down ever so slightly to allow me to expose nicely for the image. I've had a little bit to do housekeeping as well. There's a couple of little stray branches that are just falling down into the scene here, so I've had to just gently, without damaging the tree, just move them away and that's giving me a straight, clean line through to the tree. I've put the long lens on for this composition. Don't think to see down off at the distance, see these two trees here. I've got them framed up. I've got the long lens on, just under 100 millimeters, and I've zoomed in just to try and pick off some of these leaves, which you can see. I've also taken my aperture down to 5.6 to try and get that nice little bit of fall off into the distance there. But what I was finding was there's a slight breeze just blowing through the woods here, and it's just moving those leaves ever so slightly. So I've increased my ISO. I've gone up to ISO 800 on this one, which is giving me a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second, and that seems to be enough just to freeze the movement in those leaves. Don't be afraid to up your ISO when you're in a landscape like this, because yes, it's probably going to introduce a bit of noise to your image, but at the end of the day, look at everything that's going on. It's not going to matter. You're not going to notice that noise. And if I'm honest with you, given the scene in front of me and all this fog and the sort of the gnarly, the grittiness, the grunginess of it as well, I think a little bit of noise just adds to the image. So let's take the photo and see where we are. So that's 2-second timer. Just going to zoom in just to check my focus. Yeah, that's a lovely image. So I'm happy to admit that I am struggling today in this forest. You see, woodland photography isn't my thing. I'm more happy with a nice big landscape. But obviously, given the weather, given the current climate, I've decided to come into the woodland and give it a go. You know, there's no harm in doing so. And it's good to get out of your comfort zone every so often and do something which you wouldn't normally do. So the way I'm getting around this today is I'm hand holding the camera. I'm just having a little wander around, just bringing the camera up to the eye, having a little look, seeing if a composition works or not before I break out the tripod and what have you. And it's amazing what you see looking through the viewfinder, which you just don't see with your eyes. And I think that's helping me pick out some compositions today. But if you find yourself out in the woodland, then just do the same. Just do the same. Just get your camera out and just hold it up to your eye and see what you can do. And you'd be surprised at the images you get in. So for my last composition, I'd come off the path and I found a nice little gaggle of trees in front of me, just in front of me. But to show you how quickly, conditions have changed this morning. When I was walking up the path, there was a nice layer of fog just in the distance there. From the time it's taken me to walk, 30 metres from the path to get to this spot, the fog's dissipated and it's gone. And the shot that was there is no more. So I'm finding that the fog is, it's starting to burn off now, so it's not hanging any longer. We're nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I think I can make this my last shot for the day. I'm going to make my way back to the van and start heading home. Nice cup of tea, I think, when we get back to the van as well. And yeah, so this image, I'm at f5.6, ISO 64. It's giving me a quarter of a second shutter speed. About 135 millimeters I'm in as well. So 2-second timer. Take the shot. I'm quite pleased with that. Even though I've struggled today, I definitely feel like I've got a couple of images I'm happy with, and it's definitely something I can't do again, because even though I've struggled, I've enjoyed it. And you know, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video as well and for coming along with me. And if you could click subscribe down below and that little notification bell as well, it'll let you know every time I upload a video. And if you give this one a little thumbs up as well, it's helping to support me. And head on over to my website as well, mrwphotos.com, and check out the shop on there. I've got a couple of new products which I've put up fairly recently, and you know, my calendar's included, a little print set as well. And I'd appreciate it if you fancy getting someone a gift this year that's a little bit different. You know, not only would you be helping support my channel, but you'd also be helping support me, and I'd be very, very grateful for that. So, from Wentwood Forrest, I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you on the next video.